All right, what is going on, my dudes? We're back here today with the next installment of Sensational Synergies, Super Synergies, and this one is going to be on a champion I have loved for a very long time, my first ever 6-star Black Bolt. Now, I've always had a very large soft spot for this champion, and on his own, he's not the best. When you max him out to Sig 200, yeah, every now and then he can hit kind of hard. But with Synergies, this guy is absolutely incredible. So today, we're going to be building some sensational synergy teams around this guy to really show him off. Now, if you don't know how Black Bolt works, when he's awakened and you land a critical hit, he has a chance, an unspecified chance, to get a Fury or Cruelty buff for 6.5 seconds. Now, these Fury buffs are additive and increase your attack by 890. Cruelty buffs increase critical damage rating by 137. Now, the only additional utility he really has is that he's immune to poison, and he has armor breaks on his special attacks with an 80% chance, and all of his special attacks have a chance to inflict stun. His special one does also inflict true damage, which is, nice in the right scenario. But on his own, he's a little bit lackluster. That's why today we're going to be building a sensational synergy team around this guy to make him absolutely incredible. Now, you probably know about these old school synergies at this point, right? Medusa and Hitmonkey for Black Bolt. You can take this trio in almost anywhere, and Black Bolt's going to be an absolute beast, okay? Just these three alone is all you need. Medusa's going to make his buffs permanent, his Fury and Cruelty buffs permanent. Hitmonkey is going to give you 300 additional critical rating for each buff on Black Bolt. Not each unique buff, each buff. To round out these teams in the past, people have used Odin for his aptitude and Karnak for the Inhuman Trilogy, right, or the Trinity, right, to increase your damage by 25% when all three are on the team, plus some additional health as well. But the year is 2022. Coming to a close in 2023 is just around the corner. So we're going to be throwing Quicksilver and Icarus on the team. With Quicksilver, your personal stun debuffs are going to be increased by 25%, and you have guaranteed critical hits when the defender is stunned. And with Icarus here, you gain an Energize buff, granting plus 100% combat power rate for 4 seconds when a personal stun debuff is applied from your special attacks. So this right here is the sensational synergy team that we are going to be rocking with in this video. I believe that Quicksilver and Icarus really go very well together for the synergies that they bring Black Bolt in combination with Medusa making his buffs permanent and Hitmonkey making him crit 95% of the time once he ramps up just a little bit. So we're going to start jumping into it today, and we're actually going to be comparing the damage between the old team and the new team, okay? So right away today, we're going to be jumping right into Winter Soldier, right? This guy that we hate to fight because he's passive, because he takes too long, his health pool is too high, it doesn't matter. So, as you can see, our stun debuffs are just a little bit longer, 25% longer because of Quicksilver. We also have guaranteed critical hits, right? So a big benefit of using Odin is that you have those 3 buffs to allow you to ramp up faster because you start with 900 critical rating, right? Because you have those 3 buffs. But with Quicksilver, you can kind of bypass that early start because you get the guaranteed critical hits as long as you can stun the defender. So now, as you can see, we have 11 buffs, 12 buffs, 13, 14 buffs total, and we're going to start hitting very, very hard. So we're going to go for a special 2 here after throwing a 13k medium attack, and we're not even all the way ramped up. That was a solid 100k special 2. As you can see, the stun debuff is now 25% longer, and we have guaranteed critical hits, and we're going to go for one more special 2. That one was just absolutely enormous, and we hold the heavy attack for the stylized finish. Oh, well, use him in relevant content, not just Realm of Legends or some Act 7 paths. Okay. How about something like this? If you look at my buddy Cat Murdoch's channel, she just did the Eternity of Pain boss rush with her rank 4 Black Bolt, not even Sig 200, not even fully leveled up Black Bolt, Medusa, and Hitmonkey. So go check out that video and show Cat a little bit of love if you want to see a rank 4 Black Bolt in action. 50 hits, Winter Soldier is down in about 40 seconds. That is absolutely nuts. The Energize that you get is huge for spamming that special 2, especially when you have the increased stun duration as well with the guaranteed critical hits after you throw that special 2. Now, if you throw the special 2 right after you parry, with the increased stun duration, you can pretty much have a guaranteed critical hit on every single hit of the special 2. So this is why altogether I prefer this team compared to the other one, even though the other one might have a little bit more damage. In fact, let's look at the two of those side by side right now, why don't we? So if we look at this right here, fully ramped up, 15 Furies, 15 Cruelties. The top is with the team I showed you earlier with Odin and Karnak, an additional plus 25% damage, plus the Aptitude giving plus 18% increased potency on those Furies. And then down here, the team we just ran. So as you can see, with the OG team, right, a medium attack crit is going to have 27,141 depending on your masteries and all the fun stuff as well. And with the new team, 23,472, that is for a medium attack. And if we go for a light attack crit here, it's going to look a little bit like this: 17,398, right, for the OG team, and for the new team, 15,846. Now, this might not look like too much of a difference. When you go for a full combo and you get 5 crits on the entire combo, the OG team is hitting for 106,000 for the entire 5-hit combo, and the new team about 95,000, which is still a lot of damage for a regular basic combo that's never going to go down once you're ramped up there. But it's about a 12,000 damage per combo difference in that team. Now, this difference, in my opinion, I will happily take that trade-off in more scenarios than not. Outside of content like Labyrinth of Legends, right, Abyss of Legends, where the health pools are like 3, 4, 5 million damage, I mean, I would just rather have, first and foremost, Quicksilver and Icarus on the team opposed to Odin and Karnak. That's just me. And also, I would rather have the guaranteed crits while stunned. I would rather have the increased stun duration, right? So that's personally what I would prefer, and I do think that that team is just a lot more well-rounded and makes Black Bolt better in shorter to medium length fights, right? So let's go ahead and check out our very short fight here. We're gonna go for our Deadpool here. I mean, listen, we just nuked through Winter Soldier in under 60 seconds. So obviously this Deadpool is going to be an absolute demolition, right? But we're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway, man. So as you can see, we got the guaranteed crits. You love to see it. You love to see the guaranteed crits, man. It's one of my favorite things because you get like close to guaranteed crits with Hitmonkey once you start building up these buffs. But at 0 buffs, you really don't. You do not have anything close to even a high crit rating, right? It's one thing that always kept Black Bolt kind of balanced in a way, but this team kind of makes him very unbalanced when it comes to damage, right? So we're gonna exploit that a little bit. So here we got a special 2, and he's dead before the last hit of the special 2. I mean, like, it's get to special 2 and win in a shorter length content, man. Now, listen. Let's take a look at this. This is Black Bolt on his own. This is no synergies, right? Like I said, he's like okay sometimes, man. But I mean, like, at the end of the day, he's not great. He's just not great. So at this point, we're getting close to a special 2. Deadpool was almost dead when we had the team with us. And of course, you know, you don't need Icarus or Quicksilver or Odin or Karnak along to do well against this Deadpool here in any short content. Medusa and Hitmonkey is really all you're going to need, right? Just to ramp up a little bit. At this point, Deadpool was dead already. We're going to go for a special 2 here. We have no buffs. We got some armor breaks. It's a decent special 2, but at the end of the day, we really don't have anything to write home about here, right? I mean, we're going to go for a special 1. Nothing really. I mean, like, it's just going on a little bit too long for my liking. We're over 50 seconds here. And this is, you know, Winter Soldier was already dead at this point. Winter Soldier was flushed down the toilet, and this Deadpool only has about 151,000 health. So the whole purpose of these videos, of these sensational synergy videos, is to make these champions who are maybe serviceable on their own, but you would never use them over Cosmic Ghost Rider, Hercules, other Cosmic Champions, Hulkling, Gallon, right? And turn them into just absolute powerhouses that actually do compete with those champions. When you look at just damage on its own, Black Bolt is going to have that consistent 100,000 basic combos in his back pocket, right? The huge, enormous special 2s, even the big special 1s. And his damage output is going to be at the very tippy top of the entire game. So it's absolutely crazy, man, that his damage can really get up there. Now, of course, he really does want to be high sig, so it certainly does require like a little bit of investment on this guy. But you know, 6 stones are very available nowadays. Now, this is a champion that I'm definitely going to be ranking up and sticking up in the future. I just did OG Thor and OG Scarlet Witch, so I really actually enjoy ranking up the OG champions and sticking up those fun champions. But at the moment, I just did 2 fun ones, right? So my fun budget is a little bit spent right now. But the next time I have a fun budget, there's nobody ahead of Black Bolt. So we're going to go ahead and just do some more fun stuff today. In fact, let's take a look at a little bit of the Star-Lord. We'll skip the ramp up here. We're going to go for the OG team here because, like I said, this one's going to give us just a little bit more damage, right? And when we're going for 3.3 million health, we want as much damage as we can possibly get. Now, keep in mind, with Hitmonkey here, we're getting 300 additional critical rating for every buff that we have, okay? How many buffs do we have right now? We have 33. Well, actually 32. For some reason, we're not getting that 15th Fury buff. I don't know why. But in a moment, we're going to get the 15th Fury buff, and we're going to have 33 buffs. That is just quite a lot of additional critical rating. So as you can see, we're critting more often than not. Here's the 15th Fury, and oh my god, the damage. The damage combined with the armor breaks too, by the way. The armor breaks don't last very long. Man, if he had a synergy that increased the duration of his armor breaks, or even possibly made like one special 2 give a permanent armor break, it would make him even more insane, right? It doesn't take very long to ramp this up. The thing that holds Black Bolt and this team back from doing content like Abyss of Legends, you know, he could absolutely do Labyrinth of Legends. He'd be fine against Maestro. But the thing about Abyss is that, you know, the final boss is the Collector, and there are other very specific fights in there as well that you are going to want specific utility for. And at the end of the day, he's got a lot of buffs, he's got an armor break and true damage, and he's poison immune, right? He's got a Fury for stuff like Caustic Temper. You know, there's certain things he can do, but he's lighter on the utility side. You know what I mean? He doesn't have that typical cosmic power burn immunity, special lock immunity, that type of thing that is very important nowadays. He doesn't have the true sense. He doesn't have true strike. He has, you know, true damage, which is not as important as the other ones, right? So that's definitely one thing holding him back. Now, I feel like this guy could be absolutely nutty with the right buff. You know, for example, Gamora is able to miss when she has, not counter miss when she has 8 buffs, right? So what if Black Bolt could counter miss when he has 6 buffs, counter evade with 10 buffs, counters this with that, right? Something like that just added into his kit, sprinkled into his kit, can make him very, very viable champion, right? And he's already viable when it comes to damage. At the end of the day, you're not always going to need all of this utility all the time. Sometimes a lot of damage is just enough. And in fact, we're going to go ahead and take a look at an 8.1 lane today. I think it's 8.1. It's somewhere in Act 8 or end of Act 7. But it's Power Shield. And Power Shield is a node that we see very often in CavEQ, in casual questing, in side quests, in story content, and other stuff as well. We see stuff like this, Power Shield. And look at this. We're not just going to go for a regular Power Shield lane, because obviously he would smoke it. We're going to take it a step further. Power Shield, Recharged, Enhanced Parry, and Spite. So obviously we got a lot of buffs, right? So this Cyclops is going to be gaining power the entire time. So we're going to kind of race him a little bit. We're going to see if we can kill him before he kills us with his special 3. So what we're going to be doing here is building up to a special 2, okay? That's what we want to do. We want to build up to that special 2. I'm going to show you why I like the Energize. I'm going to show you why I like the longer stun duration, all this other stuff, okay? In content like this. So here, we're just building up some buffs. It's Power Shield. We're not going to be doing any damage until we get to our special 2. We got 2 Furies and 7 Cruelties, okay? 3 Furies now. Not too bad. So here, we're going to get a parry. We're going to land a parry. We're going to go for the special 2. Absolutely enormous. And we have the 25% increased stun duration, allowing us to go all the way back up to another special 2. That's just nutty, man. Like, that is an obscene amount of damage. Absolutely obscene. Of course, 400% increased damage on this on the special attack, which is a lot of fun. We're going to look at a 7.4 lane, a Paradox lane here, right? Now, these type of lanes he's very, very good for, man. Now, there are a lot of generic lanes where you don't really need generic utility for, and he's very good for them, but you're going to go in and it's going to look like the Winter Soldier fight. You go in, you hit them, you gain buffs, you do damage, right? But there are some nodes that really amplify him even more. So this is Paradox Block. Whenever the attacker performs a well-timed block, they gain a Paradox Charge, and the attacker gains plus 30% buff potency for each paradox on the attacker. Now, this is definitely very solid for a lot of Cosmic Champions, but at the end of the day, a lot of the top Cosmic Champions, for example, Hercules, doesn't have like many Fury buffs to enhance here. Cosmic Ghost Rider doesn't gain like many of the same buffs more often than not. Galen does, but he really is all about that harvest damage, right? Most Cosmic Champions don't have like 30 buffs to have their potency increased by 30% each. So this is something that's going to make Black Bolt very, very solid. And in fact, we're going to do this entire lane along with the boss at the end of the path. Okay, so we're going to have a little small setup over here. And what we're going to do to set up is kind of parry 3 times, because that's what we need for the paradox, right? We're going to parry 3 times, and as you can see, the parry is increased by 25% duration. But now at this point, we get guaranteed crits. And every single paradox is going to give us plus 30% potency on those buffs. All right, so we have 5 paradox. And as you can see, we are hitting very, very, very hard already. Usually this is how we start to hit when we're at about like 10 buffs, but dude, oh my god, man, completely rinsed. And as I said, we're going to do the entire path here. So now we have a Rogue. And with Rogue, her thing is she kind of shrugs off those debuffs a little bit faster. But, we do have that 25% increased duration to help out there. However, we don't want to gain 12 paradox charges, or else we take that burst damage. So we want to try and avoid that. We want to try and keep the paradox under control as best as we can, right? So we're going to start to ramp up here at this point. We got 4 buffs, 5 buffs, 6, 7, right? 8 buffs now total, right? A lot of buffs at this point. And look at this. The Energize buff from the Special 2, well, that's going to have its potency increased as well. So that's definitely very solid, man. It makes him very, very insane for these types of lanes. It makes him very, very good, man. Very, very solid for these types of things. Very fun to see, man. Like, just so much damage. It's crazy how much damage it is, really. So, again, we want to keep this paradox around the 7 to 10 range. But look at the Special 2 and look at the Energize, okay? With 8 of these. Look at where we got to. Look, we went Special 2 directly into Special 2, essentially, man. We got a Psycho Man coming up. This guy is annoying to fight, right? But we're just gonna, turn all of his stupid stuff off. We don't have to worry about any of it, man. 15k medium attacks with only 4 Furies, and we got the 9 Paradox charges. At this point, we're gonna build up to above a Special 2, and guess what? That's really gonna be it. That's really gonna be it here. We're gonna go for the Special 2. 88k, charge up the heavy attack, 65k heavy attack there, man. Professor X is up next, man. We're rolling through this entire lane. If this was a legend run, Black Bolt might be the best option for this path. That's how fast he is for this type of thing, right? So, in KVQ every month, usually for the Cosmic Path, there's like the lane where it's like, oh, you do like a light attack, you got a chance to gain an armor break, right? So that sort of thing is going to make him very solid as well. It's going to increase his damage output even further. Plus, you're going to gain the passive Fury. It's going to make him very, very solid for that type of thing. Here, come on, you got the guaranteed crits. We're going to go for the style points there on the Special 1, holding out just a little bit against Professor X. And here we got the final path on the lane. We got Guillotine 2099, man. And it's just like, dude, we're at 86% health. We rinsed it. We completely rinsed it. We didn't use anybody else. We didn't use any items on the path. We're not running suicides or anything. The thing is, with Black Bolt, most of his damage increase comes from the Fury buffs, right? So you really don't get much of a benefit with the Suicide Masteries on this guy, because you really do want to be spamming the special attacks anyway, So he's really, really solid for that, for just running him without those Masteries, which is great. So here, I definitely fumbled the bag just a little bit. I went for a medium attack before the Special 2. I threw it entirely into her Digicloak there, man. If only he countered miss. Then it would just be that much better, right? But it's okay, because we're going to be able to build up even higher 20k medium attacks, 13k light attacks there, into a 70k Special 1, finish it off with an enormous 60k heavy attack. Come on, man. Up next, man, we're going for this Taskmaster boss. Bob and weave, unblockable, aggressive, true strike, and also crit me with your best shot. Taskmaster is going to go debuff immune after 10 debuffs, right? He's also been critting us through our block every single time because he has the Bob and weave node. Also got to watch out for the special one, don't get hit by it. But every time we block, we're going to be taking some block damage. So as you can see, we've already taken some block damage there, man. This guy hits pretty hard. Pretty hard to the block, man. But what's going to be so great about Black Bolt here is the Hitmonkey synergy, right? Because as we continue to build higher and higher and higher, right? We're going to have that increased crit rating. So while we might not be able to stun Taskmaster here, I'm not too concerned with that. Why? Because we're going to have near guaranteed critical hits. Near guaranteed crits. Not guaranteed, but more often than not, we're going to be critting, as you can see, right? And at the point we're halfway built up, we don't really get the paradox increase any longer, even though the paradox is still there. Don't really know what that's about, but we don't get the paradox increasing node. But we don't really need it because look at those crits. Look at those crits, man. And this Taskmaster has about 650,000 health, give or take, right? And I mean, dude. This is an Act 8 boss, like 7.4 boss. Where is it? I don't really remember where it is. But look, he's rinsing this boss, man. He's rinsing this boss. One more special, too. He's flushed right down the toilet. Like it's absolutely nothing. Flushed. Goodbye. In 90 hits, man. So, dude, I mean, like I said, man, it's not always practical to bring a full team along with you, but most of this could be done with just Black Bolt, Medusa, and Hitmonkey, which is great. Medusa and Hitmonkey, two incredible champions. Quicksilver, incredible champion. Icarus, super duper underrated, great champion. Black Bolt turns into an absolutely amazing champion when combined with those champions, right? So every single member of this team is solid. Even the OG team, Odin is amazing as well on his own, and Karnak is decent after his buff as well. So using Black Bolt is not so much of a handicap when it comes to actually questing, man. But yeah, man, some solid stuff from Black Bolt. Like I said, my first ever rank 3 champion, a champion I've always had a soft spot for because of that reason. Plus, I quite enjoy all the other champions that he is on the Synergy team with. But that's it for this sensational Synergy video. I do hope you found it sensational. If you did, let me know in the comment section below. And make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any other future sensational videos coming to you in the future. I love making this series, and you guys just tend to enjoy this one as well, so I'm sure there will be more. But that's it for this one. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the others, and I'll be seeing you around, man.